You have typed thousands of prompts into ChatGPT this year and it answered everyone. But you still could not explain what happens inside. It is not magic and it is not a search engine.
I'm Taha and I have a solution for you.
Underneath every answer is one machine with 5 moving parts and the same few words run through all of them. So we will follow one sentence the model is trying to finish. The server dropped the request because it was blank. And we watch it turn into a guess. Before you build a house, you decide what to build it from. Bricks with 8 holes, bricks with 6, clay or stone. A model does the same with language. Before it builds anything, your words are broken into a fixed kit of blocks called tokens. A common word like server is one whole block, while a rarer word is built from smaller pieces it already stocks. So unhappiness becomes unhappiness. And every model brings its own kit. So one sentence can split differently from model to model. The model sees blocks and never letters, which is why an early one could not count the letters in strawberry, and why your bill is charged by the token, not the word. Now the model only does math, so each block needs a number it can look up, its ID. But that ID is a dead label. The number for cat says nothing about cats, and the one beside it could be spreadsheet. So each ID is swapped one more time for a long list of numbers called an embedding, coordinates that place each word as a point in a space of hundreds or thousands of dimensions. In that space, apple and banana sit almost on top of each other because you peel both and eat both and they keep the same company. Vehicle lands far across the map. Nobody placed these points by hand. The model learned them by reading billions of sentences and pulling words that share company closer. So in our sentence, server drifts toward database and crash for the same reason. Meaning has quietly become distance. And points that sit close now mean close things. Here is the catch. That point never moves, but meaning does. In our sentence, the word, it is a blank. It could point to the server or the request, and its vector alone has no idea which. So every word runs a tiny search. From its vector, the model builds a question, and every other word builds a label. And these are just more lists of numbers. The word it matches its question against each label, and server scores far higher than request. So it builds a brand new vector for itself, mostly server, with a little of the rest. Now it is no longer a blank. Every word does this at once, reaching clear across the sentence. A second trick, positional encoding, tags each word's place in line. So dog bites man never reads like man bites dog. That is self-attention, why the model reads context and not a loose bag of words. By now, our sentence is tokens, each a vector of meaning and attention. Let every word pull in context, so it knows it means the server. But that was one glance. And a glance is not understanding. Two things are still missing. Attention only gathers, it never thinks. Pulling in the server just blended two vectors and nothing has yet worked out what that really means. And one glance is shallow, while real understanding comes in layers. The transformer adds both with a single unit, repeated. Each unit runs 2 steps. First, the words gather context through attention. Then a small network sits on each word alone and thinks, reshaping what it just gathered. That is one layer. Stack it dozens of times, 96 in the biggest models, and each layer hands a deeper read to the one above. That stack is the transformer, the T in GPT, where shallow matching finally turns into understanding. After all that stacking, the machine finally produces one thing. It is a score for every possible next word. For our sentence, it lands on overloaded. But one word is not an answer. So it glues that word on and runs the whole machine again to choose the next one, and then again, one word at a time. It never plans ahead, and it never takes a word back. Each guess only steers the next. That is why a reply streams out live and cannot be quietly undone. It is also why a knob called temperature can make the model safe and boring or wild and surprising. The coherence you feel is built one committed word at a time. Predict, append, repeat. That is the writer. So there is the whole machine. Your words become tokens. Tokens become points in space. Attention lets every word read every other. A deep stack of blocks sharpens all of it. And the loop writes the answer one word at a time. That is what was happening inside the whole time. Not magic and not search, just this. And if you have ever watched it invent a fake source with total confidence, that is this same loop guessing on a fact it never really learned. Training, fine-tuning, and why it hallucinates are the other 18 concepts, and they are waiting in the app. You have the map now. The app makes it stick.